Good afternoon, everybody. I've actually arrived with my friend Mark Painter to the island of Poveglia in the Venetian lagoon. The famous island, the island of the dead, the island of the lost souls. The very same place where in 1922 a lunatic asylum was built, which was closed in 1968, and where the director of the asylum carried out horrendous experiments upon his patients, so much so that he lobotomized and killed some of them. And it ended up with him climbing into the bell tower here, which was built, I believe, in the 14th century, where he allegedly fell to the ground and was enveloped into a mist and died a short while later. I believe that to be just a local old wives' tale that's been spread to stop people from coming to the island. But having said that, it adds to the reputation of this place. I mean, this is something that most people would give their life for, to come and investigate. And yet, when I've arrived here, what have I found? I have found complete and utter dereliction. Everything is overgrown. The pathways are overgrown, the buildings are derelict, and of course ground disturbances has caused structural subsidences. So we are going to be very, very careful tonight where we are going to carry out our investigations. I'm quite excited about what we're likely to find here tonight. I'm in very, very rough clothing for obvious reasons, certainly not the man in the hat as you would expect. And the noises from the gulls, as you hear them across the island, are quite frightening and quite scary. A little bit of the history. The island was first occupied in the year 421 by people fleeing the barbarians, as with the people that settled and created Venice. It was occupied until 1379, when the people were forcibly removed because of an intended invasion or attack by the Genoan navy upon the people of Venice. And since then, it's been used on 3 occasions as a lazaretto, an isolation place where people with the bubonic plague have been brought here basically to die. The word quarantine derives from Venetian quaranta, which means 40, and it was here they were kept for 40 days and nights. And should they survive, and I know of no record of anyone surviving, they were allowed to return. It sounds very cruel for them to do this, but had they not isolated these people, the entire population of Venice would have been exposed to the bubonic plague and it would have killed everybody. Instead, over the 3 plagues that have existed here, 161,000 people are believed to be buried here as ash. Their bodies were cremated and it was scattered across the island. And it's said that 50% of the soil of this island is human ash. Wandering around, you do get the impression of ash in certain spots. The island is bisected. One side is the South Island and the North Island. One part of the island was used as a giant funeral pyre where the ashes were scattered across the rest of the island. It is a very, very sad place to be. As far as the lunatic asylum that was here, the building has remained empty since the 1960s. I think it's beyond salvation. There have been plans afoot to buy and to convert and to do something with it, but it has yet to come to fruition. And currently today in Venice, there is petitions that are being raised to do something with the island, to try and save it, to try and restore it and bring it back to life again. But here it's now just an abandoned nature reserve, full of danger, hidden dangers, and the promise of paranormal activity. But whatever is intended for the future of this island, it's got to be better than what is here now. Everything is smashed up. The footpaths are overgrown. And the whole site is tinged with a terrible sadness for the misdeeds that have taken place here in the past. I understand that last year 5 Americans came here and were due to be picked up by a certain time, I believe by 6 o'clock in the morning. But by 11 o'clock at night, they were so terrified, they put out a call for assistance, and the Venetian Fire Brigade came to their rescue and took them off the island. I should imagine they were in some pretty deep water over that. So I'm hoping, and you're hoping, we're going to get something worth sharing, and I hope this is going to be something really, really fantastic. You may hear the odd boat driving past, or perhaps the loud seagulls. The island is inhabited with rats, I believe scorpions, lizards, very small lizards, thankfully, And the one thing that struck me most of wandering around here is the amount of dead rabbits that I've come across everywhere. The island's certainly got a very large rabbit population, so I don't think that any of these creatures that have been killed are going to depopulate the island. But it's something to be wary of, and particularly so at night if you hear movement in the undergrowth, as I can hear just now. Yes, I'm very excited. Mark's very excited. It is going to be something very, very special. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm now on the GoPro. I want to show you around and show you the state of dereliction of these buildings. And I'm absolutely shocked by the state that these buildings are in. Holes in the ceilings, there's been structural disturbance and subsidence, and of course the work of man in the form of youths that have come here in the past and have trashed the place. This is one of the washrooms, and we're using this as a base. We've got a 3-tiered bed which we're containing our equipment on at the moment. And just coming through the door here is Mark. This will be the first time you'll see him here today. Just standing out of the wind, Mark, so could you step back a bit? What are you feeling?
Everywhere. Crazy energy. I mean, it's got me goosebumps everywhere I step, basically. Nothing electromagnetic, but you feel... I can't express myself. It's almost overwhelming that they're crowding, trying to see. You see, I feel...
Well, let's go through here,
I literally feel
yeah.
somebody is just walking with me, not wanting to show me, but wanting to see what we're doing. I have explained to them that we brought energy, not our own, but energy that they could use if they wanted to. Not like the people before us.
Well, I'm here at the moment. I'm showing everybody the state of this place and just how dangerous it is to access. It really is bad, isn't it?
I went up the stairs. I went up the broken stairs. You have to get to the tower from outside of the tower. There is no interior access to that tower except on the outside, all the way in the front. I haven't discovered a back exit yet. But that tower right now I cannot get to until we go through the scrub on the front to get to it.
Okay, we could have a wander over there. Do you want to lead the way?
Yeah, absolutely. We can do that. But you've got to go through some brush. Upstairs is in more decay. You can see the crumbling ceiling as you're looking at them from above. And it's just complete and utter destruction. This building
It's been totally trashed.
has been just decimated by uncaring, unsympathetic human beings.
Let's go through this gap. As you can see, everybody, it's very, very dangerous, to say the very least. I'm getting absolutely covered in debris. And over here, very quickly, you can see an octagonal fort. This is one of 5 which were built to defend Venice from enemy attack. I believe that was around 1679 or thereabouts. But of course, all it is just a bank of earth that's sided by brick. And this is part of the quay area. There's fishermen's nets here. We need to go forward, don't we, Mark?
Yes, all the way to the end, and then we have to go through the scrub brush.
Okay, we'll go to the tower. This is perhaps the oldest building on the entire island. I'll just stop very briefly and just show you around. There's a fishing boat in the distance there, and you can see the scaffolding that's been put around the building, but of course no repairs have been carried out. So we're just wandering through here, and there's the bell tower, the former church of San Vitale. The church itself was destroyed in 1804 on the instructions of Napoleon's army, and the tower was allowed to remain as a lighthouse. Why they decided they needed to take it out on the tower, I honestly don't know. We're now going through some more scrub, and this is it. This is just masses of scrub here. I'll just turn around again. Mark's leading the way there. Yeah, have you seen any dead, or live rats, I should say?
Not rats, lizards, rabbits, dead rabbits.
Loads of dead
You
rabbits.
can see electrical. They say there's electrical in here and they've got it padlocked, but I don't think there's any possible electricity anymore in this building.
No, I don't either. It would run from a generator.
Let the animals run from us so they don't have to get scared. This appears to be the entrance to the tower.
Okay, we're going to the tower. Have we got any lights?
We've got a red headlamp.
Let's have a wander through into the light. Again, another room, totally derelict, full of garbage, rubbish. And then making our way around. And as we can see, if we scan the camera around, it is in a state of absolute destructive behaviour. I mean, the people that have carried out the damage here should be deeply ashamed, and also should the authorities who have allowed this to happen. Do we need to go straight forward?
I don't know where there's going to be a tower, but here's the stairs. These are the stairs right here that will go up.
Okay, I'll follow you.
If the stairs are still in working order.
We should have brought a lamp with us, I think. And look at this. There is absolutely no way tonight either of us are going to come up here. That's how dangerous the site is.
And I'm just hoping we can get up here from these stairs. These are the only ones I could find that would go up further. And see, this is... There's no way up from here. See, we've come past the tower. There's the tower. Now, wait a minute. We came in the front of the tower. Chris, how did we do that?
I don't know.
Wait a minute. We came in the front of that tower. Oh. We could not have gotten all the way over here. We could not have gotten all the way over here. You saw us come in the front door of the tower.
Well, Ghost Adventures were able to get into it, allegedly. Let's have a wander down and let's work our way back again.
That's got me a little confused.
Look at the drop here, folks.
The gimbal looks like it's working on its own.
It can be a little bit loose. It's just terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible.
I don't understand this though. I mean, we're 25 or 30 feet from that tower, but we walked in the front of it.
Yep.
I don't understand that.
Well, let's go back down and see where we made a mistake. This place is full of ambiguities. As I say, I'm not feeling anything terrible, but I'm certainly worried more at this moment about the state of the place. Let's turn the camera around.
Look at that, how horrible. Trees coming down into the building. God, great.
Yep, it's bad. And then here, okay,
We came through here.
the tower's there, up there. So if you go to the right, let's see if we can work our way around. Or go through here. The tower's there, we must be able to access it from there. I know, they don't make it easy. I'm going to go down the other way.
Let's don't go through that. That's very in bad condition.
As you can see, it's in a parlour state, to say the very least. Everything's overgrown, smashed up and unloved. Yep, it's totally collapsed now. That's where the tower would be.
The whole tower?
I'm fairly sure of that.
What's the stairs up?
Okay, if we look up there, Literally everything has collapsed. It's in such a terrible state.
See if there's another side to it.
Just walking through here, that's blocked and that's sealed off. I think the access point has been closed off now.
That's what they've done.
Yeah, they've smashed it up.
This will be the other side here.
And you can't get through there, it's just a storage area. And we look up here.
What about the front side? We can get through from the front side.
This is unbelievable, the amount of damage. Even from the last television show that's been here, the damage is 3 times worse than what it was previously. This is... here's the director's offices, where people claim it's quite active.
So it's got to be through here.
No, I think all access to it has been smashed up. What I want to do now, we've had a look around the inside. I want to take you across to the other side of the island. And again, it's another walk through the undergrowth. Let's walk through here. Look in the distance, you can see.
I can't find those 4 bathrooms that I saw when I first got here.
No?
I don't remember where they were.
Yeah, I keep losing track of places. Right, I'm going to see if I can get around the back and make my way across the island. Just to give you folks an idea of how derelict this place really is. As you can see, it is in a terrible state. I think the scaffolding is probably the only item which is actually supporting the rest of the structure. And coming back to what I was saying earlier, there are many, many dead rabbits like this, and there's quite a few black ones that are dead. I can only assume that they stand out more from the rest of the crowd. As you can see, it's very dark and very gloomy. I mean, just look at how heavy the undergrowth is here. It's a far cry from when you see it on TV. I'm showing you the real asylum, and not a section of it where people can shoot from. I want to show you the whole raw footage. I'm not going to get through here, I don't think. Let's try. Around the back of the asylum buildings, coming back into the light. The noise above you are the gulls which frequent the island. And as you can see, more destruction, more dereliction. Spin round. As you can see, all is derelict. Just finding a way through this is virtually impossible. kind of beautiful in a very surreal, very dark way. Just this vast ruin and emptiness. See if we can make our way through here. Many, many empty rooms. Poveglia is in such a sad and tragic state. We make our way through here. Now I'm going to try and reach the bridge. I haven't a clue what this structure is. Looks almost Egyptian, doesn't it? Probably a water storage tank. Now we're going through the undergrowth. It's pretty hazardous. There's another building there as well. And we seem to be back on the trackway. Quite where it takes us, I haven't a clue. Now we're back into light again. More dereliction and more dead rabbits. And here's the bridge. So this is what bisects the island from where you have the main buildings, and this is where the ashes of the dead were distributed. We go across here. And if the soil here is very hard, but it has an ashen colour. And this is what particularly annoys me. People come here for a barbecue and they don't clear up after themselves. They just abandon everything. As you can see here. And here contains the ashes of 161,000 people. Allegedly. A cemetery without a headstone. And again it just snakes off into the undergrowth. And here are the dead. I wonder if we get any voices on this camera. And the soil has, yeah, it looks like ash. If you look at the soil here, it's very much like ash. So we return from whence we came. I'm absolutely sweating. I'm standing in an urban cemetery without headstones. In the canal behind me there's a group of youths in a boat. Not much I can do about that. But it's what happens here when the light drops and the dead once more rise to gain their ground. And it's something I'm looking forward to, perhaps with a degree of trepidation. Contrary to a lot of reports, many people do visit this island, as you can hear. It's not so isolated as many people think that it might be. And can you imagine here the doctor wearing the beaky mask filled with herbs to kill the smell of the dead and the dying and the burning? It must have been something out of a horror comic for people to see them dressed like that, wearing a black cape and that weird mask. One can only speculate how people felt when they saw somebody dressed like that. There must have been something almost alien. But now, when you look at today, the protective biohazard suits that people wear, perhaps that was the Venetian version of a biohazard suit. But in the context of today, it would scare the living daylights out of anyone seen dressed like that. Yeah, it feels very sad here. Very sad indeed. So here we are. This is the famous ground. Where the ashes of the dead remain. People that we will never know their names. We will never know their lives. We'll never know their experiences on this earth. All we know is that they died in order to protect thousands more people. And so I return back to Mark in our control point. And when you're walking through here, you get this all-pervasive smell, a pong, which is the lagoon. But equally, it could also be those that lie here in spirit. I'm feeling very strong presences around me all the time. Curious, circumspect as to what I'm doing here and why I'm here. And the heat is stifling. It really is stifling. Once more. What's happening then, Mark? I've just been for a wander around. Anything to report?
Just feeling the energy. The kids are still back on the boat on the dock, so as long as they're talking, I don't feel anything. If I walk off by myself into that building, that's a lot of tension in that building right there. Here, nothing at all, and I think it's just because they don't like anybody intruding, that they don't like knowing that they're not going to harm them or anything. So I'll concentrate in there tonight, but I'm still going to find that room somewhere. It's in this building somewhere. I don't know where it is.
Well, we can only tread safely because it is. I've been around the entire site. It is very dangerous. I've been across the other side, across the bridge. To get there, I had to cut my way through a lot of bramble. It's virtually inaccessible, but we were able to get there. And now I'm back again, and I'm going to take a break now. It's been quite a long walk around the island. Hopefully, a bit later, we'll be able to start our investigations and start to touch into the spiritual activity that pervades here.
Run some thermal. I was getting some different readings on the ghost box, my ghost box. So it's a different level of energy. You can still see how the how the energy lines move, the wave lines move, so it's a definite different pattern here, and you're picking out some words, but I didn't ask any questions. I was just seeing if anybody was talking. So
Italian words?
I couldn't tell what the words were. They were coming so fast. I was trying to turn it down, but not going to concentrate on that till we start really doing that tonight.
Well, we've got a few hours now before it gets dark, and hopefully by then, in the twilight hour, we'll be able to start our work.
That sounds good.
Anyway, from me, it's time to sign off. I hope you've enjoyed this brief wander round. It's quite a hike just getting anywhere here. But the next time you'll see us will be when it gets dark. Okay, it's now starting to fall into dusk. It will soon be dark here, and the energies what's wandering around this building are starting to build up. It's certainly taking on a much more sinister undertone, and we're looking at different areas that we can access. The problem we have here, take for example the bell tower, it is completely inaccessible now. It's completely filled with debris, and just wandering around most of these buildings, it's virtually inaccessible. And even just going for a short walk into the scrub at the back, you can easily become lost. And that's something we're trying to avoid for tonight's investigation. Mark has been wandering around too. He's picked up some energies and feelings about places. And we both more or less agreed that the hospital area is somewhere that we need to go back into a bit later. And we're in the washroom area at the moment, and there's certainly, I believe Mark heard the sound of footsteps earlier, so there's certainly things building up here, things that we can get our teeth into. Anything you want to add to it, Mark?
It's just going to be dark here any minute now, dark enough to where you're going to be able to see the night light showing on all of the videos. You have to watch closely because shadow spirits are very dark, and you'll be seeing darkness. You may be able to pick them out. We're going to be doing full spectrum photography. I'm going to use some infrared photography. We're going to be using the thermal imaging camera, recording some thermal imaging cameras in the hospital also, where we've had some very, very strong, deep feelings back in the back part of that hospital area.
And I'm certainly hoping it's going to be a very successful investigation. We're here till 2 a.m. We've had a few visitors today, haven't we? Local Italians that have come across from Venice to have a wander round, and they think that we're crazy that we're here. But unfortunately the proof will lie in the pudding. There is a present danger from the physical structures, so we have to be very mindful. The noise you can hear at the background, there's a whole flock of seagulls that live on the octagonal fault just across the other side, and they should be calming down very, very shortly. And hopefully we can get this underway and be able to find some very convincing activity which can be shared to you. Last words, Mark?
Wish us luck, folks. This is a dark place. A lot of death was here. Some of it bad death, not just death from plagues, but other types of death. So there's just a lot of energy here. Just cross your fingers for us and give us a good hope.
And it's as creepy as hell. Anyway, enough of this. On with the investigation. As daylight departed, we both gathered our equipment and very carefully picked our way through rubble and darkness to the investigation area. I sensed on the journey 1,000 eyes peering at us from darkened corners, but felt no harming presences within them. It was going to be a truly fascinating night's investigation.